Good morning, girls. Today's topic is meiosis. See, last class we saw what is mitosis, we saw what is cell cycle and how mitosis is a part of it. Now we go to the next type of cell division, which is meiosis. So when we talk about cell division, there are types of cell divisions, and under that we are going to specifically study what is meiosis, history of meiosis, where does it occur, and the different phases of meiosis, because meiosis takes place in two stages, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 will be the reduction division. Meiosis 2 will be the replica of mitosis. Okay, now in mitosis we clearly saw that the number gets doubled up, the DNA gets doubled up, and that divides into or is being divided into two equal halves to the daughter cells. Whereas here the number is going to be reduced to half, and that will again duplicate to form 4 cells. We'll see in detail how does it happen. And one more thing which happens in meiosis here is crossing over takes place, exchange of genetic material. See, when you take a zygote, it has the paternal genes as well as the fraternal gene. There is a mother's gene as well as the father's chromosome. Both the chromosomes are available. But when you see a newborn, there are so many old people who resemble, right? They say the eyes look like the mother, the hair look like the father, the eyebrows, the nose. They start, trying to relate to the parents. This is because the genes are getting crossover or exchange between the paternal and the fraternal chromosomes. Okay, so when you talk about meiosis 1, in this the first stage is prophase 1. Under this prophase, you have 5 substages: leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotene, diakinesis. They are also called as leptonema, zygonema, pachynemia, diplonema, or diakinesis also. You have what is called as crossing over. This is just an outline, okay? Then importance of crossing over. Then you have metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. So at this stage, you can see 2 cells with reduced number of chromosomes, 2 nuclei with a reduced number of chromosomes within the same cell. But this will not undergo cytokinesis. No cytokinesis after this, because this goes into what is called as second meiotic phase, or what is called as mitosis. So this cell, which has haploid number of chromosome, will duplicate and form 2n, then they again divide. So they will have prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. Finally, from 1 you get 4 cells. Okay, and this specifically happens where? We'll go in detail. Okay, differences between mitosis and meiosis. So, cell division is the process by which a parent cell divides into 2 or more daughter cells, right? All cells are derived from the pre-existing cell, and it is necessary to replace these points we have already done in mitosis. Okay, so what happens is types of divisions: amitosis, mitosis, meiosis. We have finished the ones. We will go to meiosis directly then. Now, what is meiosis? Meiosis is a special type of cell division which is necessary for sexual reproduction in eukaryotes. And meiosis brings with one diploid cell containing 2 copies of chromosome, one from the organism's mother and other from its father, and produces 4 haploid cells containing 1 copy of each chromosome. Now see, this meiosis takes place only in reproductive cell, that is the spermatocytes and oocytes. Where are they found? They are found in the testis in male, and they are found in the ovaries in female. Now these are called as the sex organs. The testis and the ova are called as the sex organs, and the cells which are formed from the spermatocytes and oocytes are the sex cells. Now these spermatocytes gives rise to sperms, and the oocytes give rise to ova. The sperm and the ova unite to form the zygote. Okay. Now what is the human chromosome number, diploid number, which you call it as 2n? Excuse me. We call it as 2n. What is the 2n number? It is 46x XX or 46XY. If it is XX, it is female. If it is XY, it is male. Right? So, this is 46XX means you call it as 23 pairs. 46 will be called as, see when we say 46XX, it is 44 autosomes plus a pair of allosome. Okay, this is only it's going to determine the sex of the baby. So, 46 will be a diploid number. 23 will be a haploid number, not pairs. 23, just 23 will be haploid number. Okay. Meiosis was first discovered and described for the first time in sea urchin eggs in the year 1876 by a German biologist called Oscar Hertwig. It was derived again in 1883 at the level of chromosomes by another Belgian zoologist called Edward van Beneden in Ascaris worms. But the term meiosis was coined by J.B. Farmer and J.B. Moore in the year 1905. Meiosis occurs in eukaryotic life cycles involving sexual reproduction. It always occurs in only the reproductive cell. In lower plants, meiosis occurs after fertilization in zygote. We are not going to go in detail about the plants because we are studying meiosis in the light of zoology. So, we will restrict ourselves up to animal cells. So, in higher plants, it occurs before fertilization in the time of gamete creation. What are the facts about meiosis? Meiosis is a type of cell division by which germ cells are produced. That's what I told you, right? Sperms and the ova. Two meiotic divisions takes place, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And this is called as reduction division because in meiosis 1 from 46 it is coming to 23. Now see girls, if the sperms and the ova have 46 and 46 chromosome, the resulting zygote will be what? 92 chromosomes. Is this a normal zygote? No, it is an abnormal zygote. So what happens here is a reduction division takes place in the first meiotic division. So from 46 they become 23. So a sperm will have 23 chromosome and ova will have 23 chromosome. When they unite, it forms a zygote which has 46 chromosome. Now this is a normal zygote. That is where meiosis 1, meiosis division plays a vital role in reproductive cell. If this does not happen, it leads to a not a proper zygote. It is not a viable zygote. Original cell is diploid. I told you, right? The normal body cell is diploid, which is 2n, 46 chromosomes. 4 daughter cells are produced that are monoploid or haploid. It is called as monoploid or haploid because in first division it is dividing to half and that divided half, now it is haploid 23. So they, when they multiply, because second division is meiosis 2 is nothing but mitosis. What is the function of mitosis? Doubling up the number of chromosome. So this 23, I showed you in the diagram, right? You saw this diagram, you remember this? This is meiosis 1, a nucleus, right? Now you have 23 chromosomes. Now this chromosome without undergoing cytokinesis will go to prophase 2 and metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. So what happens here is they again double up. In metaphase they lie in the corner. So 2 cells, 2 nuclei. So ultimately at telophase 2 you will get 4 cells. So out of one spermatocyte you get 4 sperms, but out of one oocyte you get only 1 ova and 3 polar bodies. Now what are these polar bodies and why are they formed? Now see, sperm function is to be motile, right? They have a wriggling movement to cross over the vagina, reach the region where the egg is and fertilize the egg is. So they have to be motile and they should not contain extra luggage. So what happens is, in process of spermatogenesis, when you study developmental biology in detail, we can explain that in next year, might be in a third year. Okay, I'll just give you an insight. What happens here is, the spermatocyte will form spermatocyte. There is a single spermatozoa will form 4 spermatocytes, which are non-functional spermatocytes. So these non-functional spermatocytes gets converted to functional sperm by a process called spermiogenesis. So during this conversion, what happens is, the Golgi body will combine and settle in the acrosomal region. You know the structure of sperm, right? It has a cone-like structure, which is the acrosome, then the central part, then the tail part. This is what the structure of sperm is. So in this acrosomal region, you have what is called as the all Golgi and lysosomal things get accumulated there. Then you have what is called as the DNA and the mitochondria alone. Then you have the centriole to which the tail is attached. Only these organelles are there. What happens is, all the excess cytoplasmic inclusion, cytoplasm, everything is left out. So when they wriggle and reach the egg, this acrosome will release this lysosomal substances and rupture the egg membrane. So once the egg membrane is ruptured, this mitochondria is there because it needs energy to move and wriggle around. So this inner part, the DNA alone, will be pushed inside the ova, and the rest of the part is left out. That is the reason from one spermatozoa, 4 sperms are formed. But in females, out of one oocyte, only one ova is formed. The reason is, once the ova, that's your regular menstrual cycle happens, right? The egg is being formed, the ova releases out of the ovary and reaches the the vagina region and the uterus, basically, and settles down in the uterus. And it stays in the uterus for 3 to 4 days. If it is not getting fertilized, it is getting sloughed off of your body as your regular menstrual cycle. If it gets fertilized, it will gain blood connections with the uterus. It will implant itself in the wall of the uterus and get the nutrient supply. So for 3 to 4 days, the ova has to survive itself on the uterus wall without any external nutrition. So what happens is, during the oogenesis, the only unwanted material is left out and most of the yolk is retained. That is the reason the first primary, in oogenesis, the first division, you get one ova and one small polar body. Then again this divides into the final ova, one polar body and 2 again polar bodies from the one which is first there. So totally you get 1 ova and 3 polar bodies. Okay, it's an unequal division, so that it can survive by itself inside the uterus of the female, waiting for the sperm till it either forms the zygote or it gets sloughed off. Okay, so this is the major difference between why you have 4 sperms and 1 ova. So daughter cells contain half the number of chromosomes as the original cell, and they produce the gametes, which is the eggs and the sperms. And it occurs only in testes in male, which is the spermatogenesis, and it occurs in ovaries in female, called as oogenesis. During meiosis, DNA replicates once, but the nucleus divides twice. Replication of the DNA is only once, because in meiosis 1, no replication. Do you understand? No replication. Only what happens is, there is exchange of material between the sister chromatids, non-sister chromatids. We will see in detail, because the prophase 1 is the longest phase, and that is where the crossing over, terminalization, everything takes place, and exchange of material takes place. Okay, so after that they do divide and 2 nucleus are formed, but the cytoplasm does not divide. In this stage it goes into second division. So what happens is, the nucleus divides twice, but DNA replicates only once. Now we come to the major part, which is phases of meiosis. So now we come to phases of meiosis. So meiosis, the reduction division. Meiosis 1 is the reduction division where the diploid mother cells produces 2 haploid cells. So in this, I told you, right, prophase 1 is the longest phase because that phase is divided into 5 substages: leptotene, zygote, packete, diplote, diakinase. So when we take a cell, within the cell you will have chromosomes or chromatids. There are 2 types, sister chromatids and non-sister chromatids. The one coming from the paternal and maternal, we call them as non-sister chromatids. Call them as non-sister chromatids. So during this prophase, what happens is, during these 5 stages, these non-sister chromatids will lie close to each other and exchange of genetic material takes place. Exchange of genetic material takes place. This is what is called as crossing over, and this process takes place in this prophase 1. We will study this prophase 1 in detail. During prophase 1, DNA is exchanged between homologous chromosome in a process called homologous recombination. This often results in chromosomal crossover. The paired and replicated chromosomes are called bivalents or tetrads. See the chromosomes like this: a centriole, so they are called as either bivalent. This one is called as either bivalent because 2 arms, or tetrad meaning 4 arms. So they are called as bivalents or tetrads. The process of pairing the homologous chromosome is called synapsis. Sorry, this is a typo error. Synapsis. 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 So where you have chromatids like this, right, thin. So when you're pairing them up together, that is called as synapsis. At this stage, the non-sister chromatids may cross over at points. For example, see, this is a sister chromosome. This is another chromosome. They are non-sister chromatids now. Okay. So this process of pairing is called synapsis. This is pairing. Okay. This is maternal. This is fraternal. Okay. This is pairing. Now what happens is, they slowly come close to each other. This pairing is called synapsis, and this one where they join each other, this part is called as chiasmata. This is called as chiasmata. This is the region where the exchange of genetic material will take place between the non-sister chromatids. So under prophase 1, you have this leptotene stage. The first stage of prophase 1 is the leptotene stage. Leptotene is also known as leptonema. The Greek word means thin threads. During this state, individual chromosomes begin to condense into long strands within the nucleus. Okay, the thin thread-like structures are getting condensed. However, the 2 sister chromatids are still so tightly bound that they are indistinguishable from each other. Because all, the maternal and fraternal are so tightly coiled between each other, they are not able to distinguish in this state, but they are slowly trying to condense themselves. The zygotine stage is also known as zygonema. The Greek word means paired threads. It means paired. So zygotine occurs as the chromosomes approximately line up with each other into homologous chromosome. This is what is called as, this is what is called as synapsis. Homologous chromosomes pairing each other. Okay, so here they are said to be called as bivalents. They are said to be called as bivalents. Then is the third stage. In Pachynemia, the homologous chromosomes become much more closely associated. This process is known as synapsis. The synapsed homologous chromosomes is called a tetrad because they have 4, because it contains 4 chromatids. It can't be observed until the next stage, but the synapsed chromosome may undergo crossing over in Pachynyma itself, and the chromosomes continue to condense. You can see this part. They are trying to cross over with each other, right? So this starts in Pachynyma itself. Here you can see clear structure. During the diplotin stage, also known as diplonyma from Greek words which means 2 threads, the homologous chromosomes separate from one another a little. So the chromosomes themselves uncoil a bit, allowing some transcription of DNA. You can see change over this part. This is what you can see. It's called as chiasma. And this is not necessary at only one point. It can occur at multiple points. It could be here, any point. Okay. So chromosomes condense further during the diakinesis stage from Greek words meaning moving through. This is the first point in meiosis where the 4 parts of the tetrad are actually visible. Because in prophase, you remember girls, prophase full-ஆவே என்ன சொல்லியிருக்கேன் கடைசியில் அந்த prophase-ஓட function என்னன்னா, the thin thread-like structures will become conspicuously seen as chromosomes, a fully condensed form. So during this condensation only, this exchange of material between both the chromosomes takes place, between the non-sister chromosomes or the non-homologous chromosomes. Okay, so in this stage, the homologous chromosomes separate further and the chiasmata terminalize. What do you mean chiasmata? I told you, right, the points of where the non-sister homologous chromosomes join together and try to separate. So when they try to separate, they move towards the tip. You can see this tip. They move towards the tip and they move across. So when they move across, you can see there is exchange of material. You can see this is fully blue, but the tip here is red. Here also red. This is fully red, but the tip here is blue. You can see here fully green, but the tip is pink. Fully green, but the tip pink. Here the tip is green. So exchange of material has occurred. So the function of prophase 1 is completed. Exchange of material through the process of crossing over between the non-homologous chromosomes. So these are the different stages of meiosis. You can see the chromosomes. During zygonyma, bivalents are formed. During pachynyma, they become tetrads. During diplonyma, the chiasmata are clearly visible. And during diakinesis, the chiasmata spread across and terminalize, and crossing over is complete. Now, we'll see in detail what is actually crossing over. During prophase 1 of meiosis, a part of chromatid of one chromosome goes over to the chromatid of other chromosome and vice versa. Main என்னன்னா, இந்த thread மாதிரி things coil ஆயிட்டு, அது இப்போ ரெட்டில் இருக்கிற பகுதி ப்ளூக்கு போயிடும், ப்ளூவில் இருக்கிற பகுதி ரெட்டுக்கு வந்துடும். கிராஸ் ஓவர் ஆகுது, எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் ஆஃப் மெட்டீரியல். So this interchange of parts of chromatids of a pair of homologous chromosomes is known as crossing over. Crossing over is a process by which 2 chromosomes of a homologous chromosome exchange equal segments with each other. You can see this red part, this blue part, this red part, this blue part. It is just exchange. You can see this is the original structure. This is the structure when the crossing over is taking place. This is the completed form. Crossing over occurs in the first division of meiosis. So this is how the synapsis takes place. I know the pairing of homologous chromosomes. Orange one is the paternal, the red one is the maternal, and when there is crossing over takes place, terminalization takes place. So homologous chromosome in a tetrad cross over each other. Pieces of chromosome or genes are exchanged. So it produces genetic recombination in the offspring. That's why usually the progeny or the next generation has a characteristic of both the mother as well as the father. What is the importance of crossing over? Crossing over takes place between the non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosomes. And crossing over is one of the most important events in meiosis because it allows variations in the offspring. It produces new individuals having new combination of traits. It helps in establishing concepts of linear rearrangement of gene. It helps in mapping of chromosome and selection of useful combinations or recombinations. After prophase 1, you go to the regular pattern of metaphase, which is these chromatids are arranged, on the equatorial plate. The tetrads, they line up and spindle fibers attach to the tetrads and try to pull them apart. In anaphase 1, it begins the two chromosomes of each bivalent separate and start moving towards the opposite folds. You can see out of 4 it has become 2 arms. In anaphase 1, the sister chromatids remain attached to the centromeres and move towards the poles. They are moving towards the centrioles, towards the extremities or towards the poles. In telophase 1, the homologous chromosomes pairs reach the pole of the cell. You can see, the homologous chromosome pair complete their migration. They complete their migration towards the two poles. A nuclear envelope reforms. You can see the blue dotted line. It reforms around each chromosome set. The spindle disappears. You can see it is just lying on the corner, and cytokinesis follows. The cleavage follows. This is how the whole meiosis is prescribed here. The prophase 1, the metaphase 1, the anaphase, how it is forming 2. Then within the telophase, you can see 2 chromosomes, the 2 nucleus are formed within the same cell. Now, meiosis 2, mitotic division of 2 haploid cells to produce 4 haploid. So what happens is, this stage, you can see this stage, after this cytokinesis does not take place. Rather, they go into what is called as, they move into what is called as prophase 2. You can see this is prophase 2. In prophase 2, what happens? Again, condensation takes place and multiplication or replication takes place. This is where doubling takes place, because we have already reduced the number in meiosis 1. Now that has to double up. Okay, so in metaphase 2, they have arranged themselves in the central plate, and in anaphase they move towards the corner, and in telophase you can see within the same you see 4 cells. So this is how the tetrad looks under a micro or a tetrad looks, a tetrad of a microspore looks like. So meiosis 2 begins without any further replication of chromosome. In prophase 2, the nuclear envelope breaks down and spindle apparatus form. While chromosomes duplication took place prior to meiosis 1, no new replication chromosome occurs in meiosis 2, because already tetrads or bivalents are formed. So here the centriole duplicates. This occurs as a separation of 2 members, and then the formation of daughter centriole perpendicular to each centriole takes place. They divide and move towards the poles. So the nuclear envelope breaks down and the spindle apparatus is formed. Okay. The chromosome becomes arranged on the metaphase plate. You can see here 2. Centromeres are arranged in a line called equatorial plate of invisible spindle fibers. Previously occurring in the nuclear membrane is absent. The centromeres separate and the sister chromatids, now individual chromosome, move towards the opposite poles of the cell. So the separated chromatids are now called chromosomes in their own right. You can see single cells now. This is what is haploid number. In telophase 2, the nuclear envelope forms around each set of chromosomes. Nucleolus appears, chromosomes lengthen and become indistinct. So this is the meiosis 2. You have the prophase, you have the metaphase, you have the splitting up, and haploid number of chromosomes. In this haploid number of chromosomes, you can see one pair without any exchange of chromosomes, whereas two pairs you will have without exchange and two will with exchange. So these are the different stages of meiosis 1 and 2. This is how the whole process has been diagrammatically explained here once again. Importance of meiosis. It produces haploid gametes so that the diploid number of species remain constant generation after generation. Sources of genetic variation, because crossing over brings together new combinations of chromosomes. Now, what are the differences between mitosis and meiosis? It occurs in body cell, it occurs in reproductive cell. Number of chromosomes remain the same in daughter cell. Number of chromosomes is halved in the daughter cell. Daughter cells are identical to parent cells or each other. Daughter cells are genetically different to the parent cells because crossing over has happened. 2 daughter cells are formed. Here 4 are formed. Homologous chromosomes do not come together. Here homologous chromosomes come together. There is no exchange of genetic material. There is exchange of genetic material. So with this we come to the end of meiosis. Thank you, girls.